Hello and welcome back everybody to another episode here with your LA Angels franchise mode. Year 1 is done and we finished with not a great record, so we'll see where we get into the draft rankings for year 2. But we do have some coaches to replace. Would like to get a decent hitting coach and help out this offense improve. There are some young guns on this roster that could potentially be some future 30 to 40 home run producers. And we definitely want to help out Mike Trout any way we can without breaking the bank too much, because this team is still at least a couple years away before playoff contention. And we told ourselves if we are not a playoff team within 2 years, we could end up trading Mike Trout after year 3 to a contending team. So hopefully we can find a way for Mike Trout to find greatness in LA, but he does deserve to find some playoff baseball before his career runs out. Aaron Hicks, we are going to let him walk in free agency, same as Drew Pomeranz. We gave him some shots in the majors, he just did not get it done. Jake Marisnick, he came up a couple times when there was injuries, so we might sign him later on. First base coach has chosen to sign with Baltimore instead. Okay, we'll have to find a way to someone to replace him. And where are we at here? Luke Otts, Fred Lance, a little bit older, 69. George Benitez. Sign him as a first base coach. Possibly could come in as a manager later on if we like what we see. And he is on board. Look at that. And there you go. We got our hitting coach. So hopefully the offense can produce some runs next year. Dodgers want to make a trade. No way in hell we're making that deal. Get out of here, Dodgers. And alright. Some guys here that are going to go through arbitration. Taylor Ward, Reed Detmers, Louis Renfredo, Patrick Sandoval, Mickey Moniak. These are all players that will probably try and sign to a longer-term situation. Moniak is someone that possibly could be trade bait too if we find a young outfielder that's ready to come up and take his spot. Andrew wants heck of a season out of the bullpen. Still arbitration available. We're going to use up the last bit of that to save some money. Jimmy Heatert, same boat. Jose Soriano, solid season out of the bullpen. Hard thrower with him and Ben Joyce. It's a nice combo. Matt Dice, we're probably going to let walk. Zach Plesac we'll bring back for one more year probably as a fifth man rotation. Joe Adell, I don't know what we're going to do with him. If we're going to end up using him as a fourth outfielder or a trade bait, that's still up in the air. He has not hit his ceiling at all. And Logan O'Hoppe, career year. He's got 4 more years arbitration. We're going to try and give him some money. And yeah. It's a renewable contract, just under $1 million. We'll probably give him a raise. We do have some money to spend in free agency here, but definitely a lot of players here that we want to bring back at the same time. Some youth on this roster showing signs of promise. So I'll give him a bit of a raise there, 1.5. Nolan Shanuel, this kid, I tell you, he's going to be special. He's going to be the new face of the franchise once Mike Trout is gone. And we'll give him a 2-year deal. Just over $2 million. It's expensive to live in California. We got to find a way to keep him happy. Jordan Blazovic, I think under $1 million is kind of fair for him, so we'll give him $800. The season he had, he's got to prove it to earn some money. Austin Martin, the other half of that JD Martinez trade, I'm hopeful he can turn into a solid utility player for us. Chase Chaney had some up and downs. See if he can earn a spot on the roster next year. Jefferson Caro, we're very high on him. See if he can make the roster next year. Now a AAA pitcher probably have. And only 27-year-old. We'll give him that. Kenny Rosenberg, I didn't really let walk. Victor Medeiros. He's not a lock for a roster spot next year, but he's going to put in some battle. Could make his debut. Now Bryce Osmond, another 24-year-old we got some interest in. Daryl Hicks, he's just going to be a minor league pitcher. If there's any injuries, he'll get called up. Rowdy Jordan, another utility player we're probably going to use quite a bit next season. Also an injury relief position. Nolan Watson, young pitcher. Bryce Tedesco, we're seeing if he can outgrow his potential. Luis Patino, he looked solid out of his small gameplay out of the bullpen. Former Padre Joel Hurtado. Juan Flores, young catcher. So our second catching prospect. Hopefully he can grow into something. One of them can play DH or first base. Andre Pallante, I wanted to give a 1-year deal too. But I think we'll stick with 3 years here. John Wimmer, see if he can grow into a top 10 prospect. Nathan Hickey, catcher we got from Boston. Livin Soto, he could be a possible trade piece in the future. Since Tyron Paris we have, same as Zach Neto. Tucker Flint, we'll see if he can be an injury result there. Nelson Rada, he is the Angels' #1 prospect right now in real life, so hopefully he can grow into that. I got Andy Blake, 24 years old. See if he can get into his C potential. Will McGillis, Alberto Rios. Be some minor league players here. They'd probably never see the major leagues. Now, we do need some space on the 40-man roster, so we're probably going to let Stefanik leave. Caleb Ketchup, he can stay down in AA forever. David Calabrese, only 22 years old, still room to grow. Matt Courtney, let's see if he's got some power. Carlson Frommer, we're going to let walk. Zach Humphreys, most likely we'll let walk. Ivan Armstrong, we're going to let walk. Gustavo Camparov, we're letting walk. Kelvin Caceres, we're probably going to let stay in the minors. Cole Fontel, bring back. Gabe Matthews, first baseman, letting walk. Ben Goebel, let him stay in the minors. Travis McGregor, he can stay down in the minors. Zuniga, sure. We're going to let you walk. Brett Carey, we're bringing back. And Sanchez will bring back. Our minor leagues team did not do that great. So there are some players that we could add in free agency to help grow our younger players, get some playoff action too. That's always key. Jake Lee, Eric Torres, we'll bring back. But for the most part, there's going to be quite a bit of players leaving this team from the minor leagues. So we are going to have some roster space. Luke Murphy, he's just going to be that single A pitcher we keep on to call up to AA. Now, free agency, there is some names here. You got Max Fried. He's offered a 4-year deal from Atlanta, $46 million. Shane Bieber, 4 years, $70 million deal. So they just given him under 20. Walker Buehler, he is a free agent. John Means, Yusei Kikuchi, Jake Junis, Jack Flaherty. Doesn't want to be paid that much, which would be a solid option for us as a 4th, 5th guy. And you got James Paxton, the Jade Bright Maple Canadian pitcher. Mike Soroka, he is there. And you got Anthony Santander, Tyler O'Neill, Max Kepler, Michael Conforto. So there are some power hitting outfielders in here that can fill that JD Martinez hole in free agency. And you got Adam Duvall, Harrison Bader, Randall Grichuk, Kiermaier, Michael A. Taylor. Center fielders, there's not a whole lot here. Harrison Bader. We don't need a center fielder. But we can always go with some depth with injuries. Marisnik is there. Kevin Pillar, he's always solid defensively. Billy Hamilton, former speed threats. Kyle Lewis. This is who I'm afraid Joe Adell is going to turn into. A Kyle Lewis. Has all the potential in the world, just has not found how to turn it together. I feel like he'll be a great AAA player, and if there's injuries, he could be a good help. For short term, Willie Adames is a free agent. Paul Dion. Nick Ahmed. Drew Maddy. Alberto Mondesi. But for the most part, no one at shortstop really promises. Alex Bregman is hitting free agency. J.D. Davis could be a solid one-year wonder at third base for the Angels. Does have some pop. Gio Urshela, another man down there. Brian Anderson. I always liked him. He's a solid utility player. I feel like he could be a good addition. And if Brett Batty needs some time in AAA, he can hold down the hot corner until Brett Batty is fully ready to take it over once he finds his groove in AAA. Gleyber Torres at second base is also an option. Ahmad Rosario. But I feel like Austin Martin could be a potential stay at second base as well, or a platoon with Louis Renfido. There are some different depth pieces here to always sign on to. Different and always unique choices. We're not going to go after anyone right away here. Geraldo Francisco. Speaking of DH, you got Paul Goldschmidt, Christian Walker, Pete Alonso, Joey Gallo. There are some big hitters here that could help the offense. Josh Bell, bit of a down year, only 18 home runs. He is dropping. Danny Jansen. We don't really need a catcher, but we're going to let Matt Thaiss walk, so we want to bring on a veteran for a year or two here before Jefferson Cuero is ready to come up to the majors. So 2-year deal for Carson Kelly, I feel, is fair, and we thrived with him in Arizona. We like the way he hits. Now, closing pitcher, we definitely need, and there are some options here. John Brebbia, Carlos Estevez, who we could bring back. Matsoy, Brad Hand. Because we're not going to be a playoff team in year 2. We don't need an all-star closer. Just need someone that can get things done. And going after a division rival closer, that's pretty tempting. He is 31 years old. Don't want to sign him for a long-term deal. So if we can bring him in for a 2-year at $6 million and see what he does, could possibly be a trade bait option too at the deadline next year. Now, Chris Martin, he won reliever of the year this season. Matt Moore, Jonathan Musaidia, solid year out of the bullpen. Danny Talome, Scott Barlow. There are some names here that could possibly be a good fit. Jorge Lopez, Hector Neris, veteran there. Blake Treinen. Andrew Chafin, solid lefty. Matt Strom. That's also a name we're interested in. But Phil Maton, solid 3 straight years out of the bullpen. Doesn't give up a lot of hard hits. And he's a nice veteran presence in the bullpen too for some of the younger pitchers. So if we can sign him for a 3-year deal till he's 35, we're fine with that. Steal him from the Tampa Bay Rays. And Max Fried, lefty pitcher. We already have 2 solid lefties in our system. Shane Bieber, he's also there. These are the 2 guys we're looking at trying to bring on to be our ace for next season. Jack Flaherty too, he could possibly go after him as well. Blake Snell is there. I just don't feel like we are going to have a chance with him. Shane Bieber's only 29 years old. He wants a 5-year deal. And Max Fried. He's 31, 2 years older. Solid lefty for Atlanta. 86 overall. He's growing still. He does want less money, so that's always nice. But Shane Bieber, he is a Cy Young Award winner as well. So I think we're probably going to go jump the gun on Shane Bieber. Yes, it is tempting for Max Fried, but we already got 2 lefties in our starting rotation. So I feel like a righty is definitely needed. That has a solid outing for us every night. Still, Seth isn't quite there yet. And Blazovic is just the guy that's going to eat up innings for us. So Shane Bieber, 29-year-old, the former Cy Young guy. And we're going to try and see if he wants to get paid $22 million a year. 5-year deal. And a chance to be the ace of the Angels. And right now it looks like we're going to steal him from Cleveland. So here we are so far in the first couple of days of free agency. Who we're trying to go after. See who we can get. And hopefully we can try and help out the depth of this team. Oakland Athletics are going after Clay Holmes. They're spending money now. Before they move to LA. Or Las Vegas, I should say. Alright. We got left who hasn't signed yet. Shane Bieber, Phil Maton, Brian Anderson. Still got some work to do, but Carson Kelly. We got that veteran option on our roster now. Matt Thaiss. We are probably just going to DFA him. Or let him walk. Blake Snell signs with the Mets. And I can see that actually happening. Tanner Scott to Minnesota. Alright. So now we got Shane Bieber. Bieber has signed. So we have a new ace. And the pitching staff is looking that much better. Got a couple of young pitchers behind him. William Duncan could be a couple years away before he's major league ready. Then you got Joel Hurtado, Jack Koshinetowicz. Probably butchered that name. Bullpen. Could probably add another arm or two. But closer, Jose Leclerc has signed on. And he's got some heat behind that arm. Especially from a division rival. That's a big signing. Phil Maton. Going to be the leader in the bullpen for the Angels next season. Ben Joyce, Soriano, the hard throwers. Now, we are trying to go after a DH. And he is a switch hitter. Can play multiple positions. So if a guy's tired, he can always jump in on the field too. He's solid. I don't want to give him a 5-year deal. And he does want a little bit less money too, so that's always huge. Let's see if we can give him just under 10. $9.5 million a year for 3 years. I feel like that's a fair offer for Santander. So we are going to DFA Tyler Anderson. We do not need him on our 40-man roster, making $13 million a year. We're fine with letting him walk. And we're going to remove Matt Thaiss. So see if he gets claimed on waivers. If not, he can play in AAA. Teoscar Hernandez goes to Chicago on a 3-year deal. So there are some names in free agents here being signed. Harrison Bader to the Blue Jays. Zach Littell. Josh Bell to the Padres. Joey Gallo. He signed to the Cubs on a 1-year deal. Rockies get Matt Thaiss. We do need a backup catcher here in AAA. So we're going to try and go with the veteran Amir Garrett. He's not going to be on the 40-man roster just yet if he signs. If there's injuries, we can bring him aboard. Ivan Melendez, be depth piece at first base for us. And see what we got going on here. Draft lottery. Let's see where we're going to draft. Right now, we're scheduled for 6th. Okay. We'll see. Could have been 5th, but the Tigers, apparently, we got a better record against them. Alright. Well, first year we were 8th. Now we're 6th. Are we going to move up? Can we get the number 1 pick? Come on, people. Let's see what's going to happen. Drum roll now. Come on. How are we feeling? Oof. And the White Sox and Athletics switch 1 and 2. But other than that, everything else stays the same. So we're picking 6 overall. So we'll see what happens here with that next draft pick. I'm thinking we go outfielder or third base, second base. We picked the pitcher in the first round last year. So if we can find an all-star player, then we'll take him. And Alonso goes to St. Louis. Torres to Arizona. My goodness, some big names moving now. We do want to try and add on another minor league pitcher that can throw the ball well in case of injuries. We do have some roster space available here. So we're going to try and see if MacArthur and Brendan White want to come aboard and start the greatness train in LA. Some lefty depth, Ryan Borucki. He's been jumping around ever since he left the starting rotation in Toronto. He is still a solid option for a depth piece. But only a 1-year deal for him. Same as Daniel Norris. He's kind of gone from starter to the reliever. And in case there's some lefties injured in our bullpen, those guys can help step up. Tyler Anderson, ever since being DFA'd, he's still a free agent. No one signed him. Ross Stripling should be a veteran guy at AAA that we could call up, same as James Caprillan. We'll sign him to a minor league deal. And see if there's any injuries out there that will make it happen for him joining the 40-man roster. Marlins got James MacArthur. Okay, that's fine. Trade offer here. Merrill Kelly for Ben Joyce and William Duncan. Hell no. No chance. Alex Bregman goes to Oakland. Are you kidding me? Wow. The A's are spending money. They're going to be maybe a threat in the division now. Adames signs in Padres territory. Fry goes to LA. Juan Soto goes to Miami. Oh my goodness. That is huge. If we could have had the money for him, we would have. But there's too many holes on this roster just to go after one huge name to make this giant team a playoff contending team in a couple of years. Alright, arbitration. Losing some cases, some guys getting some more money. But right now, before we head into spring training, that's how our pitching rotation is going to look like. And we get our DH, Anthony Santander, in there. We got a solid bench. Offense is looking better. Young guys are going to get better. And we are looking forward to year 2. Until next time, people, we are signing off. Bye for now. Peace.